Let's extend the MyScript2 example to have a few more code cells. We'll add some extra cell dividers and some additional calculations. Here we calculate the area, and then we also convert the radius to the diameter and calculate the same area using the diameter formula instead. That leads to 5 code cells, and now we can explore some of the features of the editor when there are large numbers of code cells. Recall I mentioned that with large script files it can be inconvenient to move around and find the exact location in the file that you're interested in. But with code cells we can move around very easily based on cell titles. Selecting the Go To button opens up a pull-down menu with all the cell titles listed. Selecting any particular one makes that cell become the active cell, and the cursor moves to the beginning of that cell. If there's many cells, then this selection menu shown here will be scrollable. Let's try this back in the editor. Here we are in the editor, and the active cell right now is the first cell with the title My First Script File. Going over to the Go To button, I can pull down and jump down to the 4th cell, Compute and Print Area of same circle, and you can see that the focus has changed. We're now in the 4th cell, and the cursor is exactly at the beginning of the cell. Go back to the Go To button, go up to Compute Circumference of circle with radius 2.4, focus changes again, as expected. This is very useful if you have a large script file consisting either of very large cells or large numbers of cells, or both. The last topic to discuss regarding the editor and code cells are the code cell iterators. This is how we can execute code without cut and paste operations. There are simple one-push toolbar buttons to advance focus to the next cell, run all the commands in the whole script file. That's like typing the script file name at the command line, to run the code in the current cell, and either do that keeping that cell in focus or advancing the cursor to the next cell. Okay, let's go try these in the editor. I've changed my layout here so we can see the command window and the editor on the same screen, and I can move the editor out of the way very quickly just by hitting that tab. I'll show you how to do this shortly as we talk about the Matlab environment. But right now, let's focus again on those code cell iterators. Open the editor, and the focus is in the first code cell. Let's advance to the next code cell where there's some actual code. We'll run and advance. That means that the code on lines 4 and 5 will be executed. Those variables, radius and circumference, will be assigned in the base workspace, and the focus will advance to the next code cell. Let's check the workspace. There is radius and circumference as expected. Come back to the editor. Let's just run the section without advancing. When I click Run, the circumference should be displayed. There it is. And the focus stayed in that third code section. I can press it a few more times just to show that the focus has stayed there. Now let's run and advance. 15.0796 will be displayed one more time, and we'll advance ourselves to the next code section. Run and advance this, and we'll see the area displayed, and the focus will move to the next code section. Area is displayed, 18.0956. And finally, we're in the last code section. We can say run section or run in advance. If we didn't know it was the last code section, we would likely say run in advance. We do that. The area is printed again, this time through the diameter formula. Although there's only 5 code sections here, and all these are short, it's easy to see that these code iteration tools make it very efficient to work within your script file and use simple mouse actions to get the appropriate code sections to run.